If you've ever been to the UK, you'll know that British people seem to have their own unique style of complaining. It's polite, understated, and designed to avoid direct confrontation. And many Brits, not all of us, but many Brits, if they have a choice, would prefer to write a strongly worded letter or an email rather than complain in person. But in certain situations, such as a restaurant or a shop, you may need to raise an issue on the spot at the time. And in this lesson, you'll learn how to complain politely and naturally in British English. You'll learn the cultural psychology behind the British way of complaining. There'll be a step by step complaint formula that you can pretty much use anywhere. And I'll also give you some ready made English phrases for real life situations. And also, we'll talk about how to escalate a complaint politely if your problem isn't solved. And by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to make effective complaints British style. In English, whether you're in a restaurant, a shop, or even talking to customer services. And don't forget, if you want to learn even more about this lesson, there is a free PDF that you can download in the description below. Just click it and get it, and then you'll learn how to complain, and hopefully not write me a complaint. Hello, you wonderful people! Welcome to English Right Now. My name is Roy, your British English teacher, and I've been a teacher of English for nearly 15 years. In fact, I've helped thousands of students on their journey towards mastering a modern British RP accent, learning more about British English, and of course, talking about British culture. So if that sounds good, please do consider subscribing to this channel. But in this lesson, we're talking about a very British skill, how to complain politely and still get those results. And we're going to focus mainly on complaining in a restaurant or complaining in a shop. And we'll go deeper than just phrases. You're going to learn the cultural psychology behind the British mentality, the British way of complaining. So you'll understand it's not just what to say, but why we say it like we say it. So why do we complain the way we do? Well, first of all, let's look at the mindset. British complaining is about fixing the problem without making anybody feel attacked or embarrassed. It's not about avoiding the problem. We're not avoiding the problem. It's about solving it while keeping the social kind of atmosphere intact. In other words, keeping that social balance while also making our points. So sort of think of it like this. The goal is to get the problem fixed, but the secondary goal is to maintain social balance, to avoid making anyone feel attacked or humiliated. And this comes from kind of several cultural habits. First of all, face saving. So it's about protecting people's social standing or dignity. We've talked a lot about on this channel about negative politeness. And of course, we soften our words so that the other person doesn't lose face, even if it is their fault. However, we do become more direct if the person doesn't comply. The second cultural habit comes from low confrontation preference. Direct conflict in public is uncomfortable, and some people think it's quite rude and quite ugly. So that's why many people prefer to write a letter or an email. It's private, and it allows you to choose your words quite carefully. Also, understatement. We commonly use understatement in British English. Saying something is a bit cold when it's absolutely freezing, or it's not quite right when it's absolutely disgusting, is more about inviting agreement, not starting a fight. When we're complaining, we often use empathy. We separate the person from the problem. We might say to the waiter, look, I know it's not your fault, but even if we are absolutely livid with the service, I know it's not your fault, I can see you're really busy, but. I always say in English, but is a very dangerous word because you start off saying something nice and then you use the word but, and then nothing good comes after but in that situation. We also have a culture of gradual escalation. We start polite and then get firmer if needed. If the person isn't compliant, we then get firmer and more direct. And jumping straight to anger can actually be seen as unfair. So you would be judged by other people if you get aggressive immediately. I can't believe this is disgusting. If you don't give the person the chance to rectify things in a polite way, you may in turn be judged. And finally, we talk about politeness as a social currency. The more respectful you are, the more likely you are to get help. So in other words, the nicer you are, the more likely that person is to rectify the situation without confrontation. And of course, there are always those people that say, I don't usually complain, or I don't normally complain, but These are usually the people that complain all the time, and it is an art form. In fact, I would say that complaining in British English, it is kind of an art form, and there is a step-by-step process to it. But usually these people that say, I don't usually complain, be wary. These people are often nearly professional complainers. So now let's talk about that British complaint formula. And like I say, British people, it's kind of like an art form, the way we do this. So we're going to talk about 6 possible steps, but 5 and 6 are very much situation dependent. Step 1 is a soft opener. This protects face and it kind of creates cooperation. So you might say something like, excuse me, which is quite polite. I'm afraid there's been a slight mistake. You're, in fact, apologizing for the other person's mistake. And that word slight makes it understated. Even if it is a serious problem, you're calling it a slight mistake. Excuse me, I'm afraid there's been a slight mistake. Now this is quite polite and quite indirect, but we can always escalate things later on. We can always become more direct or firmer later on. If you start off quite firm, it's very difficult to de-escalate the situation, but to escalate it is easier. So we start off quite light. Other soft openers include sorry to bother you. Again, you're apologizing. I just wanted to check something. Or you could say, I don't suppose you could help me with something. Or would you mind if I just pointed something out? Our tone is usually quite soft and a little bit hesitant. Something like, would you mind if I pointed something out? Rather than, would you mind if I pointed something out? So our voice is also quite light. So those are the soft openers. We're going to put them all together at the end. Step 2, state the facts. This is quite neutral, checkable, but blame-free. We don't make accusations. We don't say, you screwed this up. We might say something like in a restaurant, we ordered the vegetarian curry, but this has chicken. The problem is clear and nobody is being blamed. Or the receipt says £29.99, but I was charged £39.99. And if we're talking about a faulty product, we could say, the zip broke the first time I used it. Not your product is rubbish. We're just saying this is a fact. So it's very neutral, like a fact, and it is blame-free. We're not pointing the finger at somebody. Step 3 is about explaining the impact. This encourages empathy and it shows the reason that you're making the complaint in the first place. So you could say, I can't eat chicken for personal reasons or personal choices. And again, with an overcharge, you could say, I'm on a tight budget and I didn't expect the extra charge. Or if something breaks, you could say, it's a gift, so I can't really give it in this condition. This is about showing the reason for your complaint, but also trying to create a level of empathy. How would you feel if this was you? And step 4 is making a reasonable request. This is really important. Ask when you make this request. Do not demand. Do not, I want this replaced right now. You would say something like, could this be replaced, please? Or would it be possible to refund the difference? Or could you take this off the bill, please? Now, notice there's a lot of pleases there. I'm talking again about that social currency, the politeness of social currency. And also you're asking a question. You're asking if it's possible. At this stage, there is no need to become direct. If the person rectifies the situation, social balance has been maintained and everybody's okay. But if they don't, that's when step 5 comes in, which is escalate gradually. This shows fairness, but it protects your image. So you could politely say, I understand that it's busy, but I really do need this resolved, please. If you want to be firmer, you could say, if this can't be resolved now, I'll follow up in writing. Or if you want to get something resolved immediately, you could say, could I speak to the manager, please? Again, we are maintaining our politeness. We're still giving that person the opportunity to do the right thing, but now we're getting a little bit firmer. And at the end, if things don't really go your way at this step and people won't help you, you can say something like, well, I really am appalled, or I really am sad, but I won't be eating here ever again. Or I will never shop here again, I'm afraid. Again, we're using these kind of words like we're apologizing, but at the end of the day, we are very strongly making our point. I'm sorry, but I will never shop here again. And of course, step 6, if the situation is unresolved, you can always follow up in writing. We can do a whole lesson on writing a complaints letter because that is a true art form. I've seen some that are so brilliantly written that they're both hilarious, but they actually get the job done at the same time. We can do a whole lesson on step 6, but step 6 is kind of the point where things have gone too far or the situation is not resolved. But now let's talk about some extra language points. So British people tend to use a lot of softeners and hedging language. British people often use words like a bit, a little, and slight. So we kind of understate the problem. We talk about seems to be, appears to be, looks like. There seems to be chicken in my soup. It appears to be broken. It looks like I might have been charged extra. This is all about not making a direct accusation. Remember, we can always escalate later on. We often apologize or use polite language like, I'm afraid, unfortunately, or I was wondering if. And we usually use questions, would it be possible, or do you think you could? Like when we want an exchange or something like that. Would it be possible to get something different, or would it be possible to get another dish, rather than I want another dish? You're making the same point, but the language is different. And of course, we can always upgrade to being firm. I do need this resolved today. Again, that tone of voice is less confrontational. Oh, I'd prefer a replacement rather than a repair. If the person says no, you can then get more confrontational because the other person is actually creating the confrontation by saying no directly. So now let's give you some good examples of complaints. And maybe in a restaurant, you get the wrong order. If you want to be quite polite and quite gentle, you could say something like, "Excuse me, I'm afraid this isn't the vegetarian curry I ordered. I'm sorry, but I can't eat it because it's got chicken in it. Could it be swapped, please?" If you want to be a bit firmer, you could say, "Oh, thanks for checking. I appreciate it's busy, but I can't eat this. Could I speak to the manager, please?" If the food is cold, you could say, "Sorry, this is a bit cold in the middle. Would it be possible to heat it up, please?" And if there's a long wait, which often happens, you could say, "Hi, I just wanted to check on our mains. We've been waiting about 40 minutes. Do you know roughly how much longer it'll be, please?" I actually had a real situation like this recently. I maintained my cool. They got me a free drink, they got me a free dessert. They resolved the situation without ever becoming an argument. And yes, I was annoyed, but they did resolve the situation, and we did it politely. And these were pretty much the exact words I used, except for the fact I'd been waiting for an hour. And like I say, they did resolve it. Yes, I was annoyed at the time, but they resolved it. They handled the situation, and it really wasn't the waiter or waitress's fault. If you go to a shop and you get a faulty product, you could say something like, "Hi, I bought this here last week. But there's a fault with the zip. Maybe it's a jumper. Could I have a replacement or refund, please? I've got the receipt." Remember, always keep your receipts. And if you're like me, get them sent to your email. If you get overcharged, which can happen, you could say, "I noticed I've been charged £39.99, but the shelf label says £29.99. Could you refund me the difference, please?" This often happens maybe in a supermarket with a promotion, maybe it's 50p off, and they don't take the 50p off. You can always ask, but keep it polite. It's not their fault. It's often a problem with the machine, so keep it polite and just explain the problem. Be polite, and usually they will resolve the issue. And if you try to return something outside of the return policy, sometimes they will help, sometimes they won't, but always keep it polite. They don't legally have to help you, so they can always say no, and that's the shop's right. If it's like you've got 28 days to return it, and you try to return it on the 31st, they may help you, but keep it polite. So you could say something like, "Hi, I realize I'm a couple of days outside the return policy. The item is completely unused and it still has the tags on. Would it be possible to exchange it, please?" Now, this actually happened to me the other day. I think I was about 3 or 4 days late to return it, but I kept it polite and he helped me and he gave me a refund. And this is pretty much the thing I said. Remember, there is a free PDF you can download in the description below, and it's packed with more information to help you learn even more. But remember, in Britain, complaining isn't about being loud. It's about being effective and polite at the same time. Start soft, state the facts, explain why it matters, ask for a fair solution, and only get firmer if you need to. Remember, you can escalate, but it's trickier to de-escalate. And if all else fails, write a letter. We'll talk about that in a future lesson. That might just be the most British thing you can do. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below any other lessons you'd like to watch in the future. But from me today, I'll just say thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next lesson.